Good morning, beautiful people. Sunday, obviously, it's our meal prep day. And yeah, we're going to get started. Definitely starting a bit later than what I normally would, 5:40 a.m. right now. So, in part because last night, I'm probably going to forget to put the little phone video I had of it's only 7 seconds anyway, but went to a little party thing last night. Um, Nothing like crazy. It's just we all had to bake cookies and we all brought our own type of cookie thing and we were just kind of having it along with some food just to celebrate, a little Christmas party thing. So that was a fun time, honestly. But I'm not gonna lie to you in the fact that I also went to bed a bit late, and also in the fact that I had a crap ton of food yesterday. So I had a little 2 pound surplus. I'm 187 point something. I kind of forgot, but I had a little bit of a surplus right now. So, but that's fine. That's not a big deal, honestly. We'll fix around it. It's the holidays. I'm not here to struggle or get too crazy about it right now, especially with the move and everything going on. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna be. Oh, put this away before I forget. It's the last of our meal prep. We're gonna be doing the honey sriracha chicken rice bowls first, and then from there we will continue forward. So first things first, roasting this chicken. So I'm going to lay it out and roast it for about 10 minutes. So pretty straightforward step. We'll be back after that's done. Alrighty, we are back, beautiful people. So the chicken is done. That is good to go. I should put that in here actually. Get the sponge out. There we go. So chicken is good to go. I just need to let it rest and I'll start chopping it up. Chop it up as I'm cooking the veggies here. But we're going to be starting with the carrots and broccoli first. That is the main goal here. Just get this kind of cleaned up a little bit. I don't think I'm going to need it, but it's going to be nice to have that there, you know what I mean? Let's see. All right, there you go. Let's do a little wipe down. Doesn't have to be anything too crazy. But carrots and broccoli and all that good stuff. So I'm tired today, folks. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am pretty tired today, which is fine. I mean, I did go out last night and hung out with some friends and all that good stuff. So it was a good time. I do enjoy it, making that effort to kind of go out more and stuff like that has been pretty successful. I'm not going to complain too much about it. I will say I did eat a crap ton of cookies though, which, I mean, kind of the point of the party, right? But still, probably should not have done that. They had good Mediterranean food though, so I also ate a lot of chicken, which is pretty good. But yeah, anyway, it's gonna be another regular week starting next week, although I will be packing a lot more, which will be a good time. So it's not gonna be a good time. I hate packing. Granted, I don't have a lot to pack, which is a good thing. That is kind of the important part there, but still, nonetheless, packing sucks. When I first moved out here, I didn't really have much. I think I had like maybe 1 or 2 boxes and then my clothes, which I kind of just stuffed into my car and drove off in. So, not saying that I have much more than that. I don't. I really don't, but well, come on. Why am I making this harder on myself? There we go. It says petite broccoli florets. This is not petite, homie. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big size. So I could break that up a little bit. Yeah, whatever. Maybe I should have done chopped broccoli again. That usually tends to come out a lot better. But it's okay. Next time. So I forgot what I was already saying anyway. Oh right, I was moving. So yeah, I didn't have much to leave with, and I'm not going to be leaving with that much more anyway. But nonetheless, it's still going to be a tedious little task. So all right, let's get cooking this real quick. I'd also like to say I kind of forgot a step in a bit. It's not one that's listed, but Because I use frozen broccoli, what you kind of want to do is put that in first before the carrots, and then let that cook a little bit longer than the carrots because they're frozen. I wasn't thinking, just kind of forgot to do that, but for your reference, if you're going to make this, right, mealprepmanual.com, it's the honey sriracha chicken rice bowl. If you're going to use frozen broccoli, in my opinion, put that in first just so it cooks, starts cooking first, and then when you put the carrots in, they'll both be cooking at essentially the same time, meaning like they'll be done around the same time. But even if you don't, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of letting you know. So yeah, so this is more or less the point, I would say, to start cutting your chicken. Just, you know, cut into thin slices. Make sure you actually cut the chicken, first of all. It's been out for a couple minutes, so still hot, but not like super hot to where it's going to hurt to cut. Though I need to probably hold this knife a little bit better. And yeah, just kind of going through it. There's different ways to cut it for, you know, however you want to do it, but kind of just how I'm doing it right now. I was thinking, what if, you know, you cut the meat into cubes prior, right? And you let that marinate, and then you cook that. Would that affect the flavor content? Would that affect the cooking process at all? I'm not entirely sure, because I know I've done that before in the past, and it came out fine. So I would think it would come out fine with this too, but I don't know, maybe that's something to kind of test at some point in the future, just to see if that would make it easier to have it pre-cut, so I can just kind of get things done a bit quicker, you know what I mean? So, but anyway, little food for thought on that. We'll be right back. All right, so the other thing I'm kind of realizing too, because normally, right, you would want to, it's like kind of an awkward angle, isn't it? There you go. Normally you'd want to put a little bit of water to help steam it. It's going to cook it faster, make it a bit softer. In this case, you don't need to do that, because the frozen broccoli is going to release quite a bit of water, it seems. And yeah, it kind of just steams itself a little bit there. So make some room in the center, grab your onions and garlic, and then pour those delicious things inside the middle. There you go. Easy peasy. And why not just wash it right away as it is? You're gonna probably want to let those just kind of brown and soften. There's really, I mean, I'm sure there's many other ways to cook onions, right? But those are really the more consistent way you're gonna do it. You're gonna see across multiple recipes that it's gonna be consistent across the board in some cases. So yeah, not a big deal. I think I just burnt myself a little bit there. What was that? That was a weird little burst in pain there. All right, so make sure these are getting there. Move the garlic around just so you don't burn it like crazy, you know what I mean? But other than that, you're fine. All right. You know what I've been craving a little bit too, actually, is these teriyaki beef bowls that I've made in the past. However, I don't feel like I ever make them right. It comes out very dry whenever I have it for some odd reason. I don't know if I'm just not using enough teriyaki sauce. I'm not entirely sure what the reason is, but it comes out really dry for me. And then it just gets very old very quickly. I don't know what is the reasoning behind that. Still haven't really figured that out. And I've only made the dish twice, because each time it's come out like that. So man. Because if it stayed juicy or just like better like the way the rice bowls do, I would like it so much more. I'm not going to put celery in it. Celery is my worst enemy, unless it's in like a soup where you don't taste it. For some odd reason, I don't like celery, but onions, carrots, broccoli, all that good stuff, Brussels sprouts, beets, good stuff. Celery, don't know why I hate it, but I just don't like the crunch of it. It's not a good time to me. People are like, oh, celery and peanut butter. No, does not work for me either. I mean, if you like it, great, to each your own, but that's not my thing. So I tend to take it out of a lot of recipes, with the exception of like one where it's like a soup and the celery gets nice and soft and it's not this overpowering like flavor and texture. So anyway, onions have browned, mix it together, yada yada yada, beautiful stuff. And I think at this point we are going to combine the rice. So, yep. And then we're going to put the rest of the sauce in there. So dump the rice, as always, using day-old rice. Get the remainder of the sauce, which I have right here. And I'm actually going to dump that over the rice. Perfect. Excellent. And remember, the chicken is also coated in the sauce as well, which kind of helps it in that sense. So if you feel like you're not getting enough sauce into the veggies, don't worry. You're going to have enough sauce because of the chicken. That's going to help out the most in that situation. So let me break this up first. And if you do feel like you need to make more sauce, make more sauce. There's no harm in it. I mean, like, who cares? It's just there to give it some flavor. It's not that much calories for the most part. I mean, maybe the honey might kind of add up, but you don't need to add extra honey. You just add a little bit of soy sauce, maybe a little bit more sriracha, more of the low-calorie things that's going to help increase it, right? So, you don't need to go too wild with it. All right, let's go and mix this into the veggies more. So, and that's one thing I've learned to do too, is mixing the rice into the veggies first before adding in the chicken. It just allows it, in my opinion, to mix all around better. So, perfect. And honestly, I think I like chopped broccoli better. It doesn't add a different taste or texture. It just divides a lot more evenly and a lot more easier. Though, admittedly, the petite broccoli florets look more appealing. Looks like a better rice bowl, but I don't know. I just think in terms of dividing it evenly across the board, the chopped broccoli does a better job than that. So, probably start using that from now on with these rice bowls. Cool. All right. So let us grab, well, it's pretty much cooked. We don't need to keep cooking the rice and the veggies and stuff. So we'll go ahead and grab the chicken now. Let's see. Can we do this without making a mess? Probably not. Ooh, actually, yeah, that should be easy because it's a small amount of chicken anyway. This is 4 pounds chicken thighs. Oh, of course, I always drop one. Oh, it's right there. Don't burn myself, don't burn myself, don't. Anyway. Look at that. Easy peasy. And we're done. Alright. So the last thing we're going to make now is some beef. Some garlic lime beef. So we're going to see how that's going to come out in just a moment. It's my first time going to be doing that recipe. Doesn't seem like a hard one. So we will hold still, and yeah, as always, don't know if I'm going to show that one. This was a pretty straightforward recipe, and this I feel like is one that I highly recommend the most. So salt and pepper, because I know it's going to need some salt and pepper. And yeah, so let me decide what we're going to do next. Hey, what's going on, folks? So we're doing the garlic lime. It's right here. What is it called? The garlic lime beef bowl. And hold on, let me put the sweet potatoes in real quick. All right, so the sweet potatoes are in now. Sorry about that, folks. Just trying to do the little video thing with my phone too, for the sake of it. But yeah, anyway, we are going to start with that. So as those are cooking, we're going to get started with the beef. This is going on for about 14 minutes, so we'll see that. Let me just double check some stuff with the beef though real quick, make sure I'm getting it right. We are marinating it in about 90 grams of lime juice, 60 soy sauce, 42 honey, and 30 minced garlic, if you're wondering. So put it in a bowl, put the meat in the bowl, clump it together. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't really like this angle, but it's like kind of the best one to actually see the meat in, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna let this kind of get a little bit of the liquid out. So thing is, when marinating with the way I did it, right, it's going to absorb a lot of liquids, so it's going to take a minute to brown, a bit longer I should say, to brown. So just know that you're going to have to probably let the liquid boil out first and then start to let it brown after that. Give it some time, just pay attention to it, don't get all worked up crazy about it. This is my first time doing this dish, so I have no clue how this is going to go. Nonetheless, I'm excited for it. Garlic lime beef bowls, right, with sweet potatoes. Sounds pretty good. So we'll see how things are going, and yeah, kind of go from there. See if I can get this to brown, let the liquid burn off a little bit. And remember, I am using 4 pounds of ground beef. Normally the recipe calls for 2. That would be a much quicker process. It's a less liquid, less meat overall, less liquid that got mixed into the meat, less liquid that has to come out. I'm using 4 pounds, so this will take more than likely, I don't even want to say 5 minutes. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to take longer than if it was 2 pounds, obviously. So keep that in mind depending on how much meat you're cooking with. You know, always keep that in mind with how much stuff you are cooking with. It's going to take longer the more stuff there is, quite obviously. But sometimes we forget that. I remember when I first started cooking, I forgot that a lot. So I can see a lot of liquids already coming out of here. So if I have to drain some, I'll drain some, but we'll see. It maybe if it evaporates, even better. So as I'm watching it go on, the liquid is evaporating. And I'm not gonna lie, it's smelling pretty good. Definitely have that soy sauce and garlic smell coming out of it. So it's been 4 minutes, almost 5. So we're gonna let it go for a couple minutes more and then kind of go from there type thing. So let's keep this up. Also with the sweet potatoes, right? Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure I put too much into that air fryer there. So it says to shake it around, you know, take it out, shake it around every couple minutes, which I've been doing too. The problem with that, that I'm seeing is it's just a little overcrowded. So, whoops, my bad. You know, I could have done it in the oven. Would have taken a little bit longer, but I think that would have been the smarter option to do. Nonetheless, it's okay. Yeah, you know, not a big deal. Still gonna come out fine. Still tasting good. So, what you gonna do? We'll get it next time. Okay, so at this point, it's been a couple minutes, like 2 minutes. This point, the beef is starting to cook now. What I'm pretty sure I'm seeing is a little bit of the fat rendered off. Now, granted, I'm using 9010 and I think 93.7. Of course, they have the $30 sticker on the thing there, but I mean 30% off sticker on the thing there. Regardless, pretty sure it's 93.7, so there's not as fat rendering out. Perfectly fine. There's still a little bit of fat in there. That's what we're going to use to cook the veggies. So we're going to go ahead and start kind of mother effort putting this thing down a little bit. Start cooking it around and flipping it around town. So let me see about how we're going to do this. This thing is heated. It is heated. So we are going to grab the glove. Smelling good though. I'm telling you right now, that is smelling delish. Oh yeah, now it's definitely cooking on each side there. So try to flip each side over here. Look at that browning. Yes, that's what I wanted. That is what I'm looking for. So, and again, if there's not a lot of fat rendered out because you're using leaner beef, no big deal. Just put a little bit more oil. It's not the end of the world, not the end of the game. Still gonna get a good amount of flavor in there. So just remember that, folks. All right, so we're gonna let that brown a little bit more. And then we're going to get our little mace here to smash it up a bit. But we'll do that in about a minute or two. That one's pretty good, thank goodness. And yes, so we're going to let that brown cook a little bit more. And then we're going to start adding the rest of our veggies into this. I was about to touch it again with the heat. Why is this up there? Okay, let's start breaking it up a little bit. Start smashing and dashing these things. I know I've said this in a previous video, but excuse me, this tool, solid, worth the $9. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Great for mashing the beef. Great for shredding the chicken, believe it or not. I didn't think this thing was going to shred chicken that well, but it shredded it pretty dang well. Not gonna lie. Better than that little hand shredder thing I have over there where you turn it. Yeah, this thing did a much better job. Little bit more effort to do, but it was still easier in the sense that because I had the chicken in one area in a bowl I can control, I could shred it a lot easier versus having to like plant it down and like use more muscle to do it. If that thing had a better grip, it would have been a bit easier to use, but because it doesn't have a better grip, yeah, it just was sliding all over the place, going down, breaking around. So I personally can't recommend it anymore, not after using this thing, because this thing really helps out a lot. And I hate using the fork method, you know, where you get two forks and just shred it apart with that, because I hate the sound of like the silverware scraping against each other, and it makes me just want to die physically and mentally. So, all right, great. So the beef, pretty much it's nearly cooked at this point. So give it maybe another minute or two just to get the rest of it in there. A little bit of fat left inside, smelling nice and soy saucy, garlicky, and we will move on from there. Let's decide here. Excellent. All right, so this is coming along, ouch, nicely. It's gonna irritate me a little bit because I'm gonna forget that it's superheated right now. So, excellent. That's a little bit more liquid than what I'm looking for, to be quite honest. Let me scoop some of that out. May not look like much, but I promise you I did scoop out liquid in there. All right, so now we're gonna let these bad boys brown and soften up. And then sweet potatoes are done, by the way. Make sure to salt these bad boys too. That's fine. Kind of mix it inside there with that. There we go. Perfect. Kind of do that a little bit. Make sure they can all get a little bit of cooking done in there. So yeah, let these homies kind of just soften and brown for a minute. We'll be right back. I don't know why there's like a weird silence all of a sudden. Very eerily quiet. I'm not going to complain about it. I enjoyed that. I don't know why it suddenly it felt like it came out of nowhere. It's nice. All I can hear is the little sounds of this cooking. Not even a car driving by or anything like that. It's very nice and peaceful. Little moments like this I can greatly appreciate. Just randomly in that way, I feel like. So, it felt like sharing that. It's a very calming moment out of nowhere, which is nice. Alright, it's looking pretty good. So, what are we looking for next? Need some peppers. Oh, spinach. So, fun little fact here. I forgot to cut the spinach. Womp womp. It's okay. You know what you do? You just dump it in. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, it's gonna wilt away regardless. So just keep mixing it in and it's gonna wilt. No big deal. Roughly chopping it just kind of expedites the wilting process a little bit and does make it a little bit easier to, you know, have stuff kind of just inside there. Like, I don't know, I have no clue what I just said there. It just makes it easier to mix it around and put things together, but it's still going to wilt regardless, so you're fine. Also, the thing was not nearly as hot just now, so I was able to touch it, which is nice, but I felt the heat kind of rising a little bit in there. See, the spinach wilt's super easy. No big deal on that. What is this? That's going to be a thick bite of onion that I'm not going to enjoy. Sorry, but I'm not going to do that. All right. Excellent. Cool. So now I think this is where we're going to add in the sweet potatoes, and it tells me we're pretty much good. We'll put the fire a bit lower just so it doesn't explode or, you know, overcook. Yep, add potatoes and black beans. So we are pretty much good to go. So let me just do this real quick. Boop. That, put that down, put this in. Beautiful. And they still kind of came out nicely. A little bit got trapped under there, but we'll get those out in a second. So just doop. Look at that. And then beans. Go in here. Excellent. Let me double check one last thing real quick. Yep, that's pretty much it. So we can turn that off, and then we can start mixing this together. And then there we go. Beef or lime beef bowls. Now, let's see, because it does say to get some potato wedges, lime wedges, limes, cut them into wedges, and then, you know, have that as part of the dish, just put on the side, so when you finish warming it up, you just put the lime in there. But we'll see. I don't have any more limes, so I might just stop by Vons real quick and get some on the way there. We'll see. But if I don't, no big deal. I think I still need to season this with salt and pepper. Let me get a nice chunk of the sweet potato and the beef. That is definitely hot. You know, surprisingly, it's really good the way it is. You know, let me see, does it say to, yeah. It says to season in salt and pepper to taste. I like the way that tastes. Let me, in fact, do put a little bit salt and pepper, though. There's no harm in doing that. Okay. Not too much of it, right? Excellent. Do a little mix, and we'll see. Because I think with the way it's come out, yeah, you'd be pretty fine if you didn't want to put some salt and pepper in there, right? Some people aren't a big fan of salt. Maybe they already have enough sodium in their diets, you know. Let me see right now. Okay. Okay. I'm glad I did that. That came out a lot better. Definitely brought out the flavor more. Brought out more of the like soy sauce flavor, a little bit more garlic. Really, really nice. My problem I'm having is the sweet potato. It is fine, tastes good. I hate this angle. It is sweet potato. However, I think because it was overcrowded, it didn't cook as well as it could have, which is fine. It still tastes good. So I think next time if I do this dish again, because I think I will, we'll see how I feel throughout the week, I'm going to do it in the oven. Or if I get a bigger air fryer, I'll just use the bigger air fryer. Because I've been wanting a bigger, like that big Ninja one where that has like 2 little things in there. That'd be pretty nice to have. So yeah, we'll see. But overall, this dish came out well. So let me plate this up and we'll get through everything. See you in a minute, guys. Oh, and real quick too, this is just a fun little thing I've been doing, which kind of helps me take out a little bit of guessing work in certain things. So I use a scale to measure all of my stuff. You know, I'm sure you all know that. It's kind of obvious. And what I did is I measured this pot beforehand, because this is really the main thing I use to cook, right? So I measured this pot beforehand on the scale, and then when I was done with all the food inside it, I got a little oven mitt glove just to protect the thing, and I put it on there, you know, and I remembered how much the pot weighed, and so I took away that weight from the overall weight of this. So everything in here, including the pot, weighed that, and then subtracted the weight of the pot. And that gave me pretty much and I divided it by 7, because that's how much I'm trying to make for throughout the week. And it gave me pretty much the exact number I'm gonna need for, like in terms of grams to plate within each thing. So just saying, pretty fun thing to do, you know, and very helpful in my opinion, if you're gonna be meal prepping like that, so you know how much you need and there's less guessing work in that sense. So you already know how to divide it, 575 grams, 7 ways. Easy peasy, which is what I'm gonna do right now. So just wanted to share that. I hope that made sense. Let me get to plating real quick. You know what I kind of just realized too? With the method I just talked about, weighing it out, definitely works well. The rice bowl came out well, and this is coming out pretty much really well too. I'm just noticing that because there is some liquid, 75, perfect. There is some liquid in here, so be warned that that might interfere with the weight calculations a little bit. And that probably isn't the best way to go about calculating how much grams the food's gonna be if there is a lot of liquid, because depending on if you're gonna, you know, put all that liquid into the food or if it's, you know, supposed to be drained out, it can make the numbers vary, but I feel like in something like this still and the rice bowl, I still think it's a pretty good method, you know. Still good to get everything you need in a more orderly way. Of course I do that. But yeah, so we're pretty much done. Let me just finish this up. I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention real quick, as it just kind of was something I realized myself. So let me scrape the rest of that, but clean this up first. All right, folks, we're done. Yeah, this was not a bad prep at all. We started 5:30. We're ending at 8 o'clock. So 2.5 hours? 2.5 hours? Yeah, not too bad. So, yeah, let's get through it. So we are doing, as always, our little review of what we're going to be having throughout the week. Now, as always, I did a protein oatmeal bake. It's going to look slightly different in the sense you see some dark spots there. That's mostly because this is cookies and cream filling type thing. When I was getting the little baking chips, I saw one that was cookies and cream, and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. It might just be like a chocolate baking chip with like a white chocolate baking chip, and I thought that'd be pretty good. When I opened it, there was like cookie crumbles in it. I was like, oh, never mind. So still excited for that. Pretty sure it'll taste pretty good. After that, we have returned to our favorite and delicious oatmeal bake. I put hot Italian chicken sausage in this one once again, and just kind of I did 2 pounds versus 1. I tend to prefer the more meaty flavor in that sense. So, and one thing I think that's kind of noticing is I'm bringing my meals down from 5 to 4, and I'll be filling in whatever extra calories I need with just like protein powder, maybe like a little protein snack, things like that. Kind of just trying to slow down a little bit with the weight gain. I feel like I'm going way too fast right now, and my gut is absolutely showing that, I feel like. So, trying to slow that down a little bit. Doing my best to. I'm not the best at bulking, and I'm admittedly not the best at cutting, though I'm better at that than I am bulking. Anyway, so that's going to be breakfast, the oatmeal bake. The egg bake will be my lunch, and then for the pre-workout meal, we're looking at the garlic lime beef bowls. This seems to have come out pretty good. It tastes pretty good, smells really good, so we'll see how we feel with it throughout the week. And that's the main thing I look for, right? It's one thing to eat it first thing out of the stove, freshly made. If it's not good throughout the week, I tend to not make it, which is why I haven't made the teriyaki bowl in a while. Anyway, next dish, the post-workout meal, our dinner. Return to the delicious, always wonderful chicken or honey sriracha chicken rice bowl. This thing, pretty good. Just kidding, it's really good. I like it a lot, tend to make it a lot, so we'll keep making it. Lasts good throughout the week and always tastes good no matter what. So really one of my favorite things to make. Very simple, very quick. If you're ever gonna make anything, that's a great dish to make in my opinion. As always, all these could be found on the website I use a lot is mealprepmanual.com. Highly recommend him. He has great tutorials, and just his website's really easy to use, and I have a lot of great recipes. I cannot express that enough because it's helped me a lot with my weight loss and weight gain journey and things like that. So would really put that out there if you guys need ideas to meal prep. It helps me take out the pressure of coming up with something. So just put that together, done. So anyways, that's pretty much it for this, folks. And that's pretty much my meal prep today. Pretty good, pretty quick. And yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow. We're probably going to be doing squats tomorrow as always. Back to the regular programming, which is nice. I'm feeling tip-top with some, soreness because of the run. I haven't ran in like 2 weeks, so. But with that said, folks, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. The holidays are coming up, and I know that can be kind of hard. And I just hope you make it through. Just know you are cared about. And I do thank you once again for watching these videos. So I will see you guys tomorrow.